So recording this. So welcome, 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 welcome our beautiful guests, Robyn and Vaughn, and all the participants that are here with us on this wonderful Monday, the 14th of September.
It's beautiful to see you warm, tan, sunny hearts and beaming through our beautiful, on the, what we would say the west side, but all the way on some aspects in the east side. You're in the beautiful ocean of just surrounded by bliss. So thank you for taking the time and really honoring yourselves, honoring ourselves, honoring the divinity to be here in your presence. Thank you.
So we are so grateful to launch this amazing interview series, which is the Sacred Divine Union Raw and Real interview series, as it was guided to us for those who've been in their Sacred Divine Union for a while, and they've experienced so much in this remarkable unity and this bond that has come together to be of the greater service for Gaia, humanity, and particularly the planetary ascension. So Michael and I continuously run into people that, want to learn more about what's it like to be in this dynamic. And individuals always have questions for us. And we know that this particular dynamic is a relation, but beyond. There's so much that goes into this. So we were guided to put an interview series together and invite those such as yourselves as our first guest to give us the opportunity to be really, really in this now and share from the truth of our hearts what's it like to be in this dynamic and what's it like to navigate through it. So first, we'll hear a little bit about you, and then Michael and I each have our own questions that we like to ask you so that you can bless us with your answer and bless the audience so that they too can experience this wisdom that is here to be passed on to others. So thank you so much, Robyn. Thank you so much, Ron. And thank you for the energy of aloha from Hawaii.
Thank you for all that's joining us today to really be a witness of this sacred energy that we get to share on this platform, because it is a gift that we can connect from our hearts to your hearts through this beautiful time and really just share this presence, share this beautiful energy, and just be right with each other. There's no time, there's no distance. We are here live and real and raw. So thank you guys for being on today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
We're
guys.
honored to be here, and and it's so timely, and so when we knew we were going to be, doing this with you, subconsciously it prompted a lot of things to go into motion.
Yes.
And the divine male's emotional field this week has been, right through the rafters, up and down, and through the trenches, up in the rafters again. And I have been filtering it all through this vessel, and it's been wild. And if you don't know what's going on, then it could have been an interesting time. But here we are, and so grateful to be here this morning.
We're very, very grateful. Thank you. So to open this up, we would like to, Michael and also for those who may not be familiar with both of you, would you please give us a very brief, sort of like a window of when you came into your union, how many years it's been, and did you right away know you are each other's divine partner, that you are called to deliver this planetary call together?
Well, this is where our union came together very interesting, because Vaughn and I were called to clear all the old archetypes that have been on this planet and have really, so 2 years ago we came together and he just came over the border with me. It was one of those really quick, like we knew because it was a destiny thing that we were to bring forward the patterns that had been in the old archetypes so that we could clear those patterns specifically together so that they wouldn't be putting these restraints on the male or the female, and eliminating the male against the female and the female against the male by being able to bring forward like an expanded version. And I went into the old archetype, to be honest. In the beginning I was in the old archetype, and Michael, you were too. I remember Honey saying to you, nope, this isn't what we're doing. This is not what we're doing.
Yep.
And I didn't want to hear that for a long time. I was kind of like, yeah, no, this is about you and me, kind of thing. But no, the expanded version of who we are is what this is about. And we know that on a soul level and on an archetype level, that wasn't going to continue to expand into the planet the way that any of the old relationship dynamics were fit into. But it didn't come in for me until much later, and that's honesty. I mean, I've been sharing that with my Gene Keys group and people that are outside of the circle of Facebook that this is starting to trickle in now. So that's how I came into it. And Vaughn had these downloads about, this isn't about you and me. This is about just this expanded version of the planet. And Honey, I remember you said that to us when we first came together, and he was already there.
Yeah, back
I
in
wasn't.
January.
Yeah. I was still kind of like, no, this is, isn't this supposed to be like, look like this picture, and you're supposed to do this and be this and look this way. And, it was very subconscious in my control mechanism to feel that was the way to operate in this relationship, and to even put a definition on it, like to even have definition on it. So anyway, I'm going to pass it on to Vaughn. I know he was nervous about bringing that forward, but you already brought that forward to
me. Oh, yeah. I mean, I said it's very real, like,
I never get nervous, but yeah, the story, like I was thinking this morning, the designer of the human experience. Sometimes I think, this is one sick puppy with a real bad sense of humor.
The divine creator wanted to have a little extra fun, huh?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's just wow. It's so. But once you start to break through some of the blocks, and so some of the information starts to become a little more clear, and you start to see the design and what was really going on, aside from what we were wrapped up in thinking was going on. It's just so amazing to me how the universe unfolds these stories that we all are, right?
Yeah.
To create a new and newer and a better and a complete template for the new human, for the new human. We are, so I don't know if anybody has really sat with the idea that we are leaving a version of the old human behind.
Oh, totally.
And we are the creators.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
of the new human. I mean, that's pretty.
It is literally the hue, man, the rays in the new
Yes.
rays coming in. And this is something Michael and I, you know, it's been ours is this November is 4 years that we come into our
Yeah.
path. And it was as soon as we met, that was it. It took off just like that. And that's some of those signatures of the ones that are in sacred divine union. There's like a different octave of light with these bonds because it's of such purpose for its planetary ascension, and it has to do with our individual part with this because it's evolving this that you're speaking about. It is the really the resigning of the old consciousness when we come together because we have to bring the template in. So and I feel like every especially few months we come up for evaluation in presence of literally the divine creator. Okay, here we go. You evolved it to this level of octave. But okay, back to drawing board. There's the next race. There's the next race. And it continuously evolves. And who we knew each other as is completely different than who we are in just this now. And we know who we will be would even be completely different in maybe 6 months again. It's like, that's the truth of it.
Feels like this dry erase board, and it keeps getting cleared. It's life, and it's and it's funny when we first met each other, there was this like, and then clearing. It's like we felt this innate, just like wow, like this lock and pull, and then this clearing, and then coming up, clearing, coming up, and it's just been amazing.
But not that smooth either. Up the elevator, you know, we get in the elevator, we go up, and then the elevator slams down, and then again,
it's a dry erase board with a couple cactus little buds, and you're like,
real, like literally, I'm sweating.
I hope it feels smooth, but I know those prickly, you know, when you lived in Mexico, you know those pricklies on the cactus you don't see, and then all of a sudden you come back and you're like, oh wow, those really got me.
So the story the question that you asked was, you know, when we met and stuff like that. So I had been asking the universe because I had been channeled by the Pleiadians when I was in Costa Rica, and they gave me the template, the overall template of New Earth. And so, and I was to, blindly figure out how it was all going to work. And so I was asking the universe, so this is where I want to go. Could you send me the vehicle, by way of the divine feminine? And so I was expecting a limousine to show up, but the universe sent a tornado and said, there's your ride there.
Kind of like 2020, like the Great Awakening. And then we're like, what? It's supposed to be this.
Exactly. Or even 2012, right?
Yeah,
and that whole belief system.
I was running on trust and faith completely, for the initials. Well, and, like when we got over the border, I mean, the fun was just beginning at that stage.
The tornado was just starting.
Yeah, the tornado was just picking up speed.
Until you get to fifth dimension by the time we got to Hawaii.
It's funny, Vaughn.
And then more of the Maya in the fifth dimension.
Which I feel you, Vaughn, because you came from Canada over the border. She pulled me from south of the border in Mexico.
Oh, so this was So this is how the divine males do it, right? We always find a way to meet in the middle.
That's right. Because, you know, isn't it? Aren't we supposed to come
we
in
don't
the
even
middle
need
of
to say anymore. Like, as long as the divine males know that, that's it.
I mean, really, really, that's the blessing, because if you've come to that awareness, the rest is really a cosmic dance from this point. Thank Goddess, we'll be dancing. We won't be hurting anymore, you know?
Exactly.
Well,
Technically.
I think we're at the cosmic dance now. I think we're at the cosmic dance now.
It's so good.
I've now found the pair of shoes for the dance. The last ones were a little tight.
Bravo, bravo. Oh, bravo. It's so good. And we feel that this was exactly when it was guided to put this together. Again, this year 2020 being so monumental, part of this experience that we are experiencing in our divine unity and the bond that pulls this together in that middle, that sacred flame that is here to, the work is done through the sacred flame. The work is not done through us. It's through our flame, you know, and,
exactly.
and we recognize that. So we recognize the importance of it. And we recognize that in such experience, you need to be prepared. It is not only a tornado, it is a tsunami and an earthquake and a volcano and what's the other ones? Typhoon, and I mean, it's like you experience
avalanche, volcano,
all of it. In this type of dynamic, we are going to experience all of it because we signed up for all of it. It is allness, and
when you can stay in the eye of it, or you can surf down it and allow that to give that peace and balance through it, that's the beautiful journey. Because, you know, we recognize what's happening right now. We recognize the unraveling, the dismantling, and all that we thought was real, and now is coming to a whole new paradigm. And I don't know about how you guys feel, but it's pretty darn exciting that we took time to incarnate during it.
It's funny you should say that, because what the universe has asked us to do is to use the platform here this morning to bring forward and say that we are leaving the old human relationship template behind, and this is the initiate beginning of the new template for the new relationships for New Earth.
Couldn't have said it better.
Completely.
Because we can't take the relationship structure along with us. You know, everything needs to be left behind, and the new needs to be created by us. And so that's what we've been asked to do, and through the authentic form, in not really knowing or saying you know, to
put another structure in.
To put another structure in it. This is to be unfolded authentically, and so, you know, there's some friction, and there's a little bit of chaos involved in that whole process. And quite the way you read it out of a book. I mean, you know, there's these little things involved called emotions. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of those?
Triggers.
Yeah, they're pretty wild stuff when you really start getting into it a little bit more.
You actually answered one of the questions that I had. I want to ask. We recognize every sacred divine union has a specific signature that is bringing to Gaia for this planetary ascension. And so we know what our signature is, our union, its purpose, its signature. And you sort of touched upon it. So if I were to ask you, Robyn and Vaughn, what would you say your sacred divine union signature is? You kind of answered it like it's the
pretty much it.
I'd say authenticity is what we are bringing into the relationship structure to regardless of how anything seems or what it appears to be, to always be able to remain in authentic form at all times, and just to really be able to ease into all situations and just allow them to flow, you know. And it really takes experience and practice and patience and kindness and, you know, all those wonderful things that, you know, really we haven't been taught to ever do. And so, but the good news is that we do know that at any stage in life, at any age, it doesn't matter, that we have the most programmable master computer that the universe has to offer. It will, hey, get this, it'll believe anything.
It's wonderful. Thank you for answering that question. So I'll let you ask the next question, so we can go back and forth.
I love you guys, and it's beautiful because
I love them too.
Well, we love you. We love you. Let me take the we.
What was that?
We love. It's all love.
We love you so much. Yeah, we love you guys so much.
And in that love, I just want to share.
Wait a minute, we haven't shown each other what our questions are. Yeah. Just so that we don't know.
Oh, I see.
Don't know. We haven't shared that with each other.
It's a great thing to not to know anything and just be, you know, be real. But because we appreciate and love you guys so much, I just in my heart would like to hear what do you appreciate about each other the most?
That was one of my questions. Wow, you really wrote that?
Yeah, because I feel gratitude and blessing to me is such a root of compassion, and when you have beautiful sacred beings.
I'm gonna start crying.
May I answer first, just in case she steals my answer?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Well, that is a really easy question for me to answer, and the answer is implicitly her heart. I have never ever in my history on this planet ever found a heart so pure as gold as Robyn Vaughn. She's the most, you know, I mean, I think she's the most magnificent human being that I've ever met. That being said,
doesn't mean we don't trigger each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're here to do. We came here to trigger each other.
Yes.
So hey, get over it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, now that just broke me right open. Vaughn, there is nothing in him that could ever be inauthentic. Even if it's going to be something that he needs to say to me that could just rip my heart, like, you know, it's like that's been the most difficult part of our relationship and the most loving, because of the authenticity of what I'm knowing is that there isn't anything that cannot be spoken, and that and I'm being honest, I used to care about what people thought, and he is so authentic that if, you know, somebody comes in, because we've had several starseeds stay with us,
Right.
And it can be a bit shocking sometimes when he's so authentic about something and he'll say something and I go, oh my God, did he just say that? and I just go, this isn't, yeah. And then I realized that that was all my old programming, that I needed to look a certain way, be a certain way, act a certain way. And I call him the divine drunk, okay? Because there's things that come out of his mouth and I just go, holy Toledo, right? But I realized that this is part of
She's never called me the divine drunk to my face.
Vaughn, turn around.
So that's what I love about him the most, is that he's a divine drunk.
I hear whispers. And I can't hear very good in the first place, so she gets away with a lot.
I do. Anyway, that was that.
For that answer. That's beautiful. I told you, we like tickling their hearts, you know?
Because it is about our love. It's about our love we can share. And thank you for being so beautifully open and sharing from your heart, because that's what really feels amazing, when we can connect and share and see and feel that activation that we knew immediately when we spoke to you back in January. There was this flowing energy that was just going back and forth, and we're so excited to launch this and see you beautiful dear hearts again. So thank you.
So here's my question. So just this is for both of you to answer, and just straight what's in your heart. How many earth incarnation, human incarnations, do you believe you have shared with one another? Just curious.
We just had that conversation that Vaughn and I were stripped clean. We know we've had a lot, and I would say there's been at least 1,500, and that's, I'm just asking guides about that. But we were stripped clean. We were like, if he said to me, if we knew them all coming in at once, like he said, I probably wouldn't have been able to put my mind around it, and we probably would have gone into ego.
Yeah. I just want to know.
I think it's over 1,500.
What about you, Vaughn? How many incarnations do you think you?
I have no idea, and I'm of the nature that I don't want to know.
Okay.
I really like to keep things authentic and really as exciting, not exciting, but you know what, to keep an edge of vulnerability
I understand.
always going on, you know, that you know, because once we ever rest on any laurels at all, you know what happens right shortly after that. So we
hear you. We totally hear you. We have, just like I'm sure with you guys, we have experienced so many times we're in a place, and suddenly right when we're in a place, a memory shows when we were here at certain time, whatever year together, and in another form and another form. So it's just really, it's really fun discovering how many lifetimes we've shared together. So just the joy of it.
I remember we were in Mount Shasta, and Honey and I were in this place called Indian Lake, and it was beautiful. Medicine Lake. And it was this volcano with a lake on top of it, and the water was just crystal clear, and Honey wanted to take it to me. And I remember when we were in the lake holding,
we were the only people there.
We were the only people there, and Honey's like, you got to place your feet into this water. It's so crystal pristine. And I remember, like, at one point I was holding her, and then all of a sudden I could see the beaches, or the shore of the lake filled with teepees. And all of a sudden I saw Honey and I in this form of an Indians telling each other, we look forward to seeing each other. I'll be back. And again, it was just that powerful energy to recognize the beauty, the innocence, the sweetness, the love in that space and the connection.
Yeah, and we both were able to see that. We were just falling, but many of them. What's your question, my love?
Well, I feel Vaughn said something very powerful, and he said, you know, it definitely takes that element of mastery of the triggers that do come up in our and our divine relationships.
That was on my list too. Go ahead.
And part of this is also just to, I feel, bring awareness of when a trigger happens, the gift of it, but also to draw a light of when one upsets another and vice versa. How do you guys maneuver through it in your raw, real, like when there's something that upsets Robyn or vice versa? What do you feel is?
How do you just plain? How do you handle the trigger? How do you navigate?
How do you
Simple,
navigate?
straight to the point.
I think we've really gotten to now where like, and sometimes Vaughn will actually say in the moment, we just need space to go be by ourselves.
So
whatever.
I know that when, just from my own experience is that I know that when I'm at the height of my emotional outburst, like when it's right there right now. And so I have learned that if I just take a little bit of time and take some breaths and just create a little bit of space, so that the first response is actually all of the past experiences that are wanting to defend my situation, right? So if I can just level out and just breathe a little bit and then come back in again, then we have the possibility of making some well, I don't want to say progress, but that we might be able to find some neutral ground in there somewhere.
Yeah, and
there always is, there always is, and there's always something that we take away from it. Damn, oh man, that happened again, so, it's in the repetition and the acknowledgement of the repetition that we have to confide in each other. We must be learning something.
Yes. Yes. Well, and his gift is stillness, and restraint is stillness is the siddhi, and the restraint is the gift, and that's his outer work. It's the outer life. Like whatever comes in, that is the gift, and mine is more like this necessity. I think sometimes what happens with me, there's this infinitesimal part of me that wants to keep going and get to the core, and like I have that part of me, right? And so then it's like this dance that we got to do, because I'll bring it in like like let's not wait, and then he's like, okay, but like, can you give yourself some breath in between? And then, yes, whatever's there. So that's how we're navigating. I mean, we never know. Yeah. It's kind of different each time, but I think we're getting now where it's just so much, there's no time, right? So right. It's kind of like it'll come in, and then we say to ourselves, did that just happen? You know what I mean? Yeah. It'll just,
things are moving
it's like,
so quickly right
it's like
now,
it does, like you were saying, Michael, about it getting erased. And one of the things that Vaughn carries so fully in his field is this valor, because he was Sir Lancelot in this other life. So this, and then also whatever role I played in that, who knows? I do know, but it's not like a big, we don't need to bring that signature through. Right. But also Ma'at and Hermes, right? So these are we're always going back to wisdom, like what's the wisdom in what's coming forward? And I'm getting downloads right now and feeling this in my ears of how the balance can come in, because and it's not, you know, none of the old structure can bring it in, even that we had these lives and whatever we did in those lives, that's only the wisdom coming forward, not the structure, because even that structure, whatever was, is now gone. So yeah,
thank you for
it's
that.
like living in the uncertainty, right?
Right. We fully resonate with that, and we feel the trigger is a huge part of exactly, Ron, that you said. They're the blessings in our in this dynamic, in this bond, because let me turn this on for a second, because the triggers, we have recognized them as such an important part of this bond that is bringing the new templates in. Every lifetime, everything, all of it has come together in here to be able to bring it through. Whatever it has been sort of like lingering has to be met now in this incarnation. So we recognize it, we boldly go through it. The sleeves are minor, way, or it's vice versa.
I wouldn't say run away. I would say like Vaughn gives his space to breathe.
And I want to get to the point.
She's in it. She's like, well, don't be passive, because passive is weak. I'm like, this is not passive. This is my to go talk to the trees, to breathe, and to bring some grounding, because the emotions are coming up so high that everything that's being said is like one trigger after another, and before we know it, it's a trigger.
And I feel it's been a truly an evolution from where we were the first year to where we are now. I mean,
same.
Different in the way that we are addressing, because again, we feel the sacred film itself has gone through so many levels of initiation in the way it is addressing this very important part. And I feel like we're in a place now that we can give ourselves a little tap in the back. Wow, look at the way we handle triggers now. Isn't this wonderful?
Exactly.
It is the evolution. It is the evolution of it.
And I kind of jump ahead, because I tend to be the spiritual kind of dork where I'm like, honey, what's the blessing and what's the gift? And she's so upset going,
when I'm upset, I want to be upset because I want to feel all of it. Like I want to feel the whole range, because I know everything is moving through all my bodies. I'm like,
well, what can we learn? You got to do what you got to do.
I was like, you do what you got. I got to and then we can come together to have the wisdom share.
I appreciate what is coming up to be healed. And I feel that it is that gift of how we come back in our peace and alignment to share, because it is the blessing and gift that something always did.
So
she's reacting. So she's reacting, and you're taking notes.
We don't have reaction. We have response. We have response. We don't have reaction anymore.
My note is this.
I have to have a pee break.
Oh. Okay.
You want to get rid of this,
yeah? Okay. He's going to go just for a second.
Sure.
You can talk to me.
Okay. So
he told everybody what he was doing, by the way. It's the man thing.
My next question is sort of like, we talked about this, and I wanted to know that this thing, is there anything currently in this now, even through your evolution, how much you really evolve, but there is like very basic right here 3D things that Vaughn does that no matter how evolved you are, you absolutely don't like it, pisses you off. Like flat out. Like flat out. If there's 1, 2, or 3, I love to hear it.
You see why he's in the bathroom?
Oh yes, this is perfect. Like going away from here, he does this like almost on everything. So that would be number 1.
Okay.
That was easy.
Yeah.
And so yes, because didn't you guys feel this, like when you first came together, we were in a whole different realm, right? We were coming from even beyond the Christ,
right?
Come together so that we could see the highest truths with each other. So that's what happens, I feel, with these unions when they first come together. So it's kind of like hyped up, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like, okay, it's, you feel what you feel, but it's at such a high level It's more from the heart space up. And then all the embodiment of everything that has ever been starts to come through, right?
Sure.
So I would say, she asked the question, do you want to ask him again?
Yeah. My question was, look, as evolved spiritually we are, connected with the light and our essential flame. Right here, right in our everyday experience, there are things that we face. This is not the trigger, but they just flat out annoy us about each other. And there's still things that do annoy. And I wanted to say, like, just honest, like, for example, when Michael shaves his beard and there's beard stubbles on the sink, it really pisses me off. Like, he's gotten better at it,
every hair on the brush.
I don't like those hair things on the. So I just wanted to ask, just flat out, just very simple. Are there one or two things about still that, like, for example, Robyn does that, it just annoys you, or Robyn that Vaughn does annoys you? Because we want to, again, we bring
bringing it all in, because that's what we're here for. We're here to bring it into the human.
Right. So if you were to say,
so what's the question?
So what annoys you about me?
Yeah.
Or wait, what annoys you about me?
Like, my example was like,
he thinks he's going to be in trouble. I could tell by that. It was
just hang on. Let me go get the book that I'm writing on it.
I just asked two things.
Two things.
Oh.
Unconditional.
Well, really, there's really only one really big thing that really annoys me, is that her energy field is so extremely high, and of course I bring in the gene key of stillness, and so she really likes to be able to show me what she's doing, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing, you know what I mean? She likes to, okay, you know, because she's so excited and wrapped up in the information that her awareness as to anything else that's going on sort of dissolves. You know, it's just the information, and so I'll be in some contemplation and stuff. I'll just be really relaxed, and then all of a sudden there's this buzzsaw coming at me, and I'm going, what's going on? What? You know, like, oh, okay. There's not a fire. Oh, geez.
This is the joy. See, this is the joy in life. Thank you.
So then, on that same note, then him pressing the button like this and looking at me like, what do you want? That would be my trigger, right? And sometimes I'll just open the door slow, because he's got a little man cave.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll open it slowly just to make sure that he's ready for the buzzsaw.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can tell when he's not ready.
Yeah.
So my thing with him is that we are merging these fields of, I think, you know, like I'm irritated when he doesn't want to take it ahead, you know, like and he just wants to stay within the muck longer or whatever, because he knows that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. And it irritates me, because I go, wait, you know, don't you process like I do? You know, like, you know.
So that's really interesting, because we process information differently.
Yeah.
She and again, I mean, she's so incredible at the rate she can process information into summary form.
Mm-hmm.
I process information into the form of, how does it work? She processes information as to, how do I know it? How does it work? How do we know it?
Mm-hmm.
And so those two fields take a little bit of work before they can find a happy medium, because one is, well, it doesn't matter what we're, you know, how to do it. You just got to know it.
Yeah, gotcha.
And
absorb.
For the way that I am able to bring things forward is I only want the theme of something, of what it is, not the information, so that I can authentically dissolve what the information means to my field.
Thank you so much for that.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for that.
And I appreciate this because what you're expressing, I feel so many can relate to this on all levels of evolution of relationships, divine union, sacred masculine, sacred feminine, human life. There's experiences that we're all moving through, and to authentically express this in your truth, in your honesty, and most important, in your love for each other, then that, to me, is the journey that we're all on in this unconditional love that we're holding for ourselves, we're holding for our planet. And it's just very endearing to hear this, because we can relate, and I feel many others can relate to this. So thank you.
Ask one more question, then we have, because we're going to start wrapping it up for this. Maybe a quick response.
A quick response, maybe. This is one thing that I go my own, in our own, is when one sees one way and the other sees another way, call it a different perspective, a different way of seeing it. How do you guys maneuver through that without pointing what's right, what's wrong? Because we know that's from the ego.
Right.
What's not aligned, what's aligned, coming from the ego. But maybe there's just times where there's just this difference in perspective, difference in how one sees it versus the other.
Or the way you receive the material. How do you maneuver through that?
How is your maneuverability?
Well, we're getting better at it because we are both obviously very, very sensitive and emotional people. And so our tendencies have been to be able to filter our perceptions through our emotional field first. And what we're getting better at is filtering it through the informational field to derive which emotions apply. And so being able to, through the experience of the things that we do, we're able to better and better build a platform like that will serve us both. So and obviously recognizing that, you know, that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. We speak different languages, and by design, and once we accept that things are by design, and why are they by design, then we can better join union and move forward from that place on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vaughn.
And that really sums it up. I would say the same exact thing. I mean, there isn't anything I could really add to that other than that we just that I take more of a breath in between, just space, you know, just contemplation. I've really learned about
absolutely just really learning to use breath to integrate experiences, just because the world has been rapidly speeding up, and if we don't take responsibility for our own field as to how we roll this out, it's going to chew us up and spit us out at some point in time. We really have to learn to communicate in our own authentic way, and breath really is able to bring that in to the experience. And yeah.
You know, and you, again, you segment it. It's always like this. You segment it into exactly this ending question I had for closing this 1 hour, which is, if you were to both pass on the deepest wisdom from your divine's truth to others who have newly come into their union, and they're going, what would you each like to pass on from your heart's truth? What wisdom would you like to share? Because you already touched up about your breath and authenticity, but is there something that's really in your core you would like to just put it in their plate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if there's any wisdom that I would like to pass along, it's probably this. We have to accept that we are coming out of a world of illusion. The whole thing is a total illusion. And so, you know, transitioning over into the field of light can seem really super overwhelming, and then for the new people who are coming in, when they watch and they observe us, you know, I'm sure it might be intimidating to some degree. And so that's why our stories of how we evolved and what we came from, and we all came from various degrees of, you know,
yes,
from that shit box, from, you know, from that hellhole, or whatever we came from. But those are all for a definite reason, to know that we live in the world only of pure potential. That's all this is.
Yeah.
Just pure potential.
Thank you so much.
Nothing else. Treat it like nothing else. Like, this is just potential. And I get to do with it what I choose. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing you want to know is there's a design to this potential. And there's the design that is designed specifically for this self, for this vessel here. It's designed specifically.
Thank you.
And the name of the game is, that design has eluded you for a long time, and now it's your time to find it. And don't stop. Don't ever stop.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Until you've started to make some headways in, and it can take a while.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you really think about the design of what we are doing right now, we're taking 12,000 years of dark reign, and we're transitioning it in 7 years.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
What we have done as a collective field of light workers has been the most astronomically amazing thing that the universe has ever known. And I'm not speaking from any ego at all, but I'm speaking in congratulations for our field of work that we've been able to carry forward. It's just been the most amazing thing that anybody can ever know. And if you're just beginning, it's all you've only got to know one thing. It's always perfect for you to discover. It's always perfect for you to discover. It's always perfect for you to discover. It's perfect.
Thank you so much. And Robyn, what would you like to add, share to that from your perspective?
Well, he brought it in to that divine will, and really knowing that. So we choose, and we're also given we are being the chosen, and it's not glamorous. It's we're chosen in a way that brings about release of any identity on anything that I got very serious for the first couple of years here in this, and I'm lightening up.
And we've been together for a couple of years.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like today, I'm going to stop being serious.
We stay out.
Speaking of funny, serious came in today. So
I just had to fill in that little detail.
Yeah.
So lightening up in the journey, because that is the part that can bring about, like, just to know that you're perfect. You don't have to be a certain way. You already love. You're loved inside yourself, and it's not the other person that brings you that. Yeah. It's not what they say or do or anything. It's just to be able to bring in exactly what you're to bring together, and for whatever length of time it might be. It might be a short time. It might be, you know, because we just are here to be instruments of the divine. Yeah. That's really all we're here for.
The goosebumps. I got the goosebumps on that. And both of you could not have expressed it any more beautiful. And really, really, we're grateful in your presence, in your time, your true authenticity, in your communication, and your deepest hearts. Thank you.
Your delicious signature in your union. We're so honored to launch this with you. Thank you so much for
here.
Thank you. Like, really, thank you for this opportunity to discover this moment, which has everything in it, encompassing, and this wisdom. We all have gone through so much to be standing here really naked in our divine sovereignty, in our divine truth, in this union to face each other in the presence of divine and pass this on. So we're very grateful, and may anybody that comes into its experience, to its frequency, receive the blessings and feel the strength, find the courage, and find also the comfort that it's all encompassing, all, and all is perfect. There is a divine perfection in what seems imperfect. So for us to welcome the divinity, because we are the divine beings returning back home here. So thank you so much to both of you. Robyn, love you so much. Vaughn, love you so much. With all the dolphins around you right now.
We can't wait. I really say this. We cannot wait. I mean, the energy is already overpouring in just this timeless gap between the Zoom. But when we do touch ground in beautiful Hawaii, like it's the biggest gift to cherish that. And just remember the love that we feel right here that we get to express.
Absolutely. We feel you guys, and we know you guys. Yeah. We know you so well. You know what I mean? Like, this has been. Thank you for the reunion. It's been a while, I'm sure, and there's going to be many more.
Many more. And thank you so much for looking alike, as they always tell us. I was told why we had to look alike, and the team said so you can make sure you don't mistake each other. So you know, like, okay, that's why everyone says you look your brothers and sisters. Yeah, we heard it, because to make sure we don't. So thank you so much to both of you. Love you dearly. And for everybody that got to watch, we'll listen to the questions that perhaps they put so we can address them later. And also to reshare this in different Facebook pages. That's going to help the message get out. So thank you so much. Love you both so much. I have the best amazing Monday before.
Aloha.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
Love you guys.
Love you. Thank you
Thank you
again.
so much.
Thank you.